What's going on there, guys? We back with another one. We have to talk about Molly Qerim, and she went off on Stephen A. Smith unwarranted today because Stephen A. Smith was speaking facts. Everything that he was saying was factually true. You can watch on tape. Now here you can see Tyrese Haliburton's father coming on the court after his son scores the game winner on Giannis. The Milwaukee Bucks blew a 7-point lead in the final 30 seconds. They deserve to lose, but he comes in front of Giannis' face, taunting him and everything. And Giannis has some words to say about that, which we're not going to show. What we are going to show, though, is what Tyrese Haliburton said to kind of show where he stood on the issue. Because this is going to be important when talking about Stephen A. Smith and Molly Qerim's exchange. Let's see what Tyrese had to say about it.
As far as the incident between Giannis and my pops, I had no idea it happened until I got to the back and was showed the video. Me and my pops have talked about that, and I don't agree with what transpired there from him. I think basketball is basketball, and let's keep it on the court. And I think that he just got excited, saw his son make a game winner, and came on the court. But I think we had a conversation, and I think he just needs to just allow me to just play basketball, stay over there. I'll come to him to celebrate. But I think it's the emotions of the game just got excited there. But I talked with him. I'll talk with Giannis eventually about it. Just I don't think that my pops was in the right at all there, and unfortunate what happened in the end there. But I mean, this series was a lot of war of words, a lot of war of antics, a lot of stuff going back and forth, and that's just part of this rivalry and what we've built here over the last couple of years. And it's unfortunate what happened there, but I think it's just competition. And as far as my pops, again, I don't agree with what happened there. We'll have a conversation. Everybody's grown men, and we'll just go from there.
So you can see right there, Tyrese acknowledged that his father was wrong in that instance. Now, Giannis even said maybe one day in the future he'll be excited for his kid like that. And obviously, Tyrese knows his dad is just happy, but you don't want to make a situation go from basketball to something else. And that's what Tyrese was trying to convey. We came out here, we did our thing, we won the series. Now, looking ahead to Cleveland, let us shake these guys' hands, get off the court, whatever. Don't you come out there and do that when emotions is running high. Well, let's look at what Molly tried to say to Stephen A. Smith today.
Yeah, being classy even in defeat. The whole thing was embarrassing. And what it reminded me a bit of, Stephen A., is we were talking about the Ulbrich situation. Remember, who pranked Deion Sanders' son?
Which is a joke.
And how the son reflected so poorly on the father. This is that same situation. It's going to have people looking at Tyrese sideways as well, whether it's fair or not. It is, Stephen A.
No, it's not.
Whether it's fair or not, it does.
It is not. You are wrong. Nobody's looking at Tyrese Haliburton wrong. Nobody. He couldn't have handled it more perfectly. Nobody is looking at him. They're looking at his dad. His dad did this. This is Tyrese Haliburton.
Stephen, your family's decisions can sometimes reflect poorly on you.
Not in this case.
That is your opinion, Stephen.
Not in this case.
I promise you,
and I'm telling you, you're dead wrong.
Okay, so you're saying everyone is, no one's looking at him.
Nobody's. Why would anybody look at Tyrese Haliburton, Molly? Why? He goes up, he finds out what happens. He goes on national television and says, my dad was wrong. Why would anybody look at Tyrese Haliburton wrong? Why?
I don't know. Maybe because he was chirping the whole season as well, and his father's an extension of him. I'm just telling you, it's your opinion. A child
is an extension. So in other words, the child is an extension of his father. And because his father did that,
you're making a blanket statement. You're saying that you don't know that. You haven't spoken to every single person.
Well, you don't know it either.
Opinion. People have differing opinions.
I'm saying you don't know it either.
But just discussing it with people.
Tyrese Haliburton, somebody is looking wrong at him when he goes on national television and calls out his own father?
Yes.
But people feel a certain way about him because otherwise he wouldn't have won that, one.
He wouldn't have been leading that. And Stephen A. most overrated by the players.
I'm talking about the incident last night. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about how people feel about Haliburton overall. I'm talking about last night's incident.
And Wendy and I are telling you how people feel as well. So we'll leave it there.
Molly is doing that I have to have the last word mess. There's no way to look at Tyrese Haliburton. People can look at him as a front runner on the court, and they can look at him as a guy who's always chirping, which there's a lot of players who's chirping all the time. Okay, the thing is he's a player on the court, so he has to back it up. And when you're on the court in between those lines, most things goes. Now there are some things that cross the line, but as far as talking junk when you playing a game, yes, that's a part of Tyrese Halliburton's game. Now they criticize him for talking when they're winning and being very quiet when they're losing, and he's not a chirper when he's down. But again, Tyrese Halliburton can do what he wants. He's on the court and he has to back that up. Molly is just wanting to go opposite of Stephen A. Smith. She doesn't want to look at the facts of what was said. Tyrese stood against his dad. I didn't want to say stood against him, but he called him out for what he did in this instance, which was correct. You don't go down there and antagonize Giannis by holding up that jersey or shirt or whatever it was in his face. They went head to head and all that stuff. You can see they had their foreheads on each other. Cool, whatever, right? It's over, water under the bridge. Those guys spoke. But Molly sitting there saying that Tyrese Halliburton was voted most overrated, which was true. We saw Tyrese Halliburton address that on his X account. He put, now overrate that or something he put up after the game. So he felt like he had a chip on his shoulder, had something to prove, man. And they went out there and they beat the Bucks. There's questions whether Giannis will be back or not. Giannis probably end up on another team next year. Um, Molly made no sense there, man. She really didn't. Wendy said players feel some sort of way about Tyrese Halliburton. Now we saw that because Tim Hardaway Senior, actually, even though he's not a player, he talks to the players. He still deal with the Miami Heat, and he has some words to say about Tyrese Haliburton. Now, Tyrese Haliburton said, "Now tell him why you really feel like that," which is something totally different. It's got something to do with some women or something. It's something crazy that was going on with that. But uh, people feel some sort of way about Halliburton. It's not on his team, but they're in the second round. They play the Cleveland Cavaliers. It is what it is now. I just didn't appreciate the way Molly just couldn't take the L on that. Like Tyrese came out, said what he was supposed to say in the press conference. I don't agree with my dad on that issue or in that instance, in that situation. And now somehow she's still blaming him, saying he's a reflection of his pops in that situation. I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think about this, but let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.